It's a lot of simple shapes. It's nothing too complex. I say that now, check back in 30 minutes. Hi. So it has now been almost a year since I made my first split side skirt, and I've made several variations since then. Different split side skirts, the pinafores, the dresses, but actually the very first split side variation idea that I had, and one that was mentioned several times in comments, was just to reverse the split side skirt. This one goes on with the back panel lacing on first, and then the front panel tying in a big bow with the sash. But several people said, and I thought too, what if you put that lacing on the outside? It's so pretty. It's aesthetically pleasing. Well, this one isn't really, because it's terribly done, but it could be. So to answer that question with this skirt specifically, why can't I just reverse this exact skirt? Let me just layer it. I could tie the front panel on first, but I'm gonna have a big knot back here and a bunch of sash, which, like, you don't need that if this is just gonna be hidden, and it's gonna create a lump. So, you know, that's the first thing we wouldn't need, the sash. Now we could layer the back panel on the front, theoretically like so. I'm not gonna lace it because I'm too lazy right now. But yeah, then we have this lovely lacing right here on front where it's visible, and if it blended in with the skirt instead of being gold and brown, it'd be great. But what about the pockets? Now the pockets are on the outside. They look kind of weird. I mean, you could call it like a design choice to have the pockets on the outside like this. It could be cool, but if you put a lot of stuff in them, you would just be able to see all of it. It's not really what we're going for. So finally, after so long, I'm gonna start from scratch and make a reverse split side skirt with that lacing meant to go on the front side. Yeah, I don't really have a design for it or anything because it's just a skirt. I'll figure out what I'm doing with the skirt itself depending on how much fabric I have. Pretty easy to assume. The front waistband is gonna need to just like snap or hook an eye, or it could button, but I don't like buttons. Anything like that in the back. The front panel will come around to the front. I'll put lacing in it. So the only real question I have is, what am I doing with the pockets to make them normal workable pockets? But we will figure that out as we go. Let's go! What the crap? Guess what? I'm making it in brown, y'all. Brown! Also, guess what's back? Did you guess the wind? It's the wind! Yay. I bought this from Remainders a while ago, so I do not remember how much I have, but it's weighty, so I think quite a bit. It has a very faint stripe in the fabric. I like it. For some reason, from the very beginning when I thought of this skirt design, which again was like almost a year ago, I very specifically wanted to do it in brown. So then every time I went to Remainders, I was specifically searching for a good woven brown fabric that I would actually like. It took several trips before I finally found one. Y'all, just me and brown, they don't connect. Oh y'all, we're back to working with woven fabric, which means I should pre-wash it. I can get away with not pre-washing knits, and I very much do. I did not pre-wash any of this fabric, and it's fine. But this looks like it has never been washed. It's a woven fabric. It might be polyester, but it might very well also be cotton. I could go burn test it, but I don't care that much. This is the problem. It has not yet sunk into my subconscious that pre-washing is a thing. So when I want to do a project, I just grab the fabric and start doing the project. And then I'm like in it. And I don't want to pause to wait 2 hours for my fabric to wash and dry. Ain't nobody got time for that. But then you guys all yell at me in the comments. So I'm gonna go pre-wash my fabric. See you in about 2 hours. All right. That didn't take as long as I thought it would. I thought I would have to iron the whole thing, but it actually came out of the dryer not very wrinkled at all. I will still iron it at some point, don't worry, but I think I can iron it after cutting out. Yay! I also measured it. I have 4 3/4 yards of fabric, which is quite a lot. So I think I have plenty to do a midi length circle skirt, possibly even a longish midi length. And because I don't feel like being precise today, I'm probably going to do a lightly gathered circle skirt, because then you can just basically cut out whatever waist measurement you want, just totally guess, and then gather it to fit. Gathering is my favorite trick. Other than that, I just need the waistbands. I'm gonna make them fairly wide, like that original skirt, so there is a bit of visible lacing, I think probably about 4 inches, and they don't need to be shaped because I put them on my high waist here, which is basically on my ribs. So since I'm not going over this dip, you can do a straight piece of fabric and it works pretty much fine on my body. That's something you have to play around with your own body and where you're placing things, but for me it works and it's grand. My waist is 32, so the front waistband I'm probably gonna do about 36, so I have a bit of overlap in the back where I can add snaps or hook and eyes or whatever. The front waistband, I don't want it to meet because I want there to be visible lacing right there. So I think I'm gonna start with 30 inches with seam allowance. That would make it like 28. And if that's too close and it's not giving me enough lacing, I can always make it shorter. So then really the only thing I need to think through is the pockets. I mean, I've had a year. I've already thought it through. Let's be real. Now the back panel is going to be on top, but the pockets still need to be underneath. So logical answer in my brain is you just stick the pockets on the front panel. The only thing there is because the back panel is on top, it could be lightly overlapping. In fact, I would want it to be lightly overlapping the front panel. Usually I try to get like an inch of overlap just so that it's not, you know, gaping open and showing anything. So if this is the edge of the pocket, and this is my back panel going on top, it'll be hard to get my hand in the pocket because I would have to kind of go in and under. So I'm thinking to fix that, I'll just give the pockets more of a pants pocket opening rather than a side slit. I'll do like that U shape right here so you can easily get your hands in the pockets. Yeah, this seems logical to me. This seems like it will work and look good. I might even be able to do some purse pockets. And then as a little bonus, because I think I'm gonna have plenty of fabric and I think it'll be cute, I'm probably going to do some like add-on suspenders almost, because the skirt will come up pretty high. By adding some little suspenders, maybe with a ruffle on them, it'll kind of turn it into a pinafore. That's just a bonus thing for an extra look if I have enough fabric, which I think I will. Yeah, okay, that's what we're going with. So dramatic. Good grief. Why you gotta be like that? It did not fix it, but that's fine. I said a light amount of gathering, but I'm gonna do an 8-inch waistline instead of the typical 5. So it might be slightly more than a light amount of gathering. Are you dead? Of course you're dead. They're always dead. This is what I ended up with. Feel free to pause and take those measurements if they'll be of any help to you, but of course, right now, I still don't even know if they're correct. I feel fairly confident that they will probably be okay though. And like the reluctant, sort of semi-professional that I am, I ironed all of my pieces before getting started with my favorite thing, the pockets. Yep, we're going full purse pockets here. Okay. I made the main pockets massively long, so each one has a second big pocket inside that's more the proper length for like resting your hands in, you know? And then I put a phone pocket in one and a small stuff pocket in the other. Wahoo! Before sewing the pockets together and onto the front panel, I had to cut out that curved notch area. Is there a name for this pocket style? Like there's patch pockets and welt pockets and side seam pockets and what I call fold-in pockets, but what do you call this style with the more open opening that you often see on pants? While attaching those to the front panel, I also finished the side seams, which were very, very bulky. Probably should have placed the pockets a little inside the edge and stuff, but oh well, it worked. Wha-bam! Let's try that again. Wha-bam! Yay! Also, the puppy had a bath. He's being dramatic. Hi! He had a bath. Did you have a bath? Hello! Oh, burpees. That is so much energy. Oh, big shake. It's a lot of drama. Then I could add all that lovely gathering up top. Thrilling stuff as always. Hi, bud. What's up? I marked the center of my front waistband and the two side places where the front panel should stop, then matched that up to the waistline of the skirt and sewed it on. I could then fold the waistband over inside out, stitch it closed right up to the skirt panel, realize I folded it the wrong way, seam rip that and re-sew it, and finally top stitch down the remaining open edge. I fitted it to myself, marked where the closure should go. I'm gonna do snaps because that seemed easiest to like do up behind your own back. And then I hand stitched those on and tra-la, we have half a skirt, also known as an apron, I suppose. Actually, an apron with like big old pockets like this would be awesome. The pockets are so big. Okay, let's make the back of a skirt. Bye. You didn't want to stick around for that. Side note, it is a new day, despite the fact that I look exactly the same. Outfit repeating, yay! So theoretically, this one should be pretty easy. I should just be able to gather the top of the panel, sew it on. I'm gonna stick some interfacing in here since this is what has the lacing up, because it is a pretty thin fabric. But yeah, then just fold it over, top stitch it down, grommet press. Let me actually do some calculations. I do definitely want to make sure that my back panel comes past the side seams a little bit because I don't have those pockets anymore to be a background. Very precise calculation, also known as the pinch and hold. Okay, I think I actually need to make this one tighter. I could make it a lot tighter, actually. I mean, theoretically, it doesn't matter because the back panel will be lacing on top of it, so it will tighten the under panel, but you don't really want like wrinkles and stuff. I'll think about it. You know, it's funny, outfit repeating that is, because it was so normal for me growing up. Like my mom had a policy that your clothing could be worn for 2 days before it needed to be washed, which I think for kids is a fairly safe bet. So we always like selected an outfit, wore it for 2 days, and then put it in the laundry basket. But then we were also homeschooled, so we were never around other people. It wasn't like we were going to school wearing the same thing 2 days in a row. Not that there's anything wrong with that, which is exactly my point. But yeah, then I got to college, and for the first time, it was like, oh, I am gonna be around people every single day. So there's that kind of just automatic idea that comes in of like, well, I can't wear the same thing 2 days in a row. Ugh. Which is where I believe the pile started for me. How many people have a pile? That chair where you throw all the clothing that you've worn for like a day or half a day sometimes, and you're like, this isn't dirty, but I can't hang it back up in my closet because it's not clean, but it definitely doesn't need to be washed yet, so it goes in the pile. Then you wear it again 3 days later, or you mix and match it with something else and wear it again that way. But yeah, I definitely no longer care about outfit repeating. Now I'm like, I have been wearing this 4 days in a row, unapologetically, because it's comfy, and I like it. Okay, edges are finished. Gathering stitches. Ugh, everything is fine. Where's my interfacing? Did I put it in the worst place? I did put it in the worst place. Good job. Once I had the sides hemmed and the gathering stitches in, waistband ironed in half and interfaced in the middle, I gathered the skirt panel down and stitched it onto the waistband before folding the ends of the waistband right side to right side, sewing them closed and turning them right side out. Then 'twas that top stitching to close off the waistband before adding some top stitching on the outside for stability and looks. I also went back to the front waistband and added that same top stitching and adjusted the snap placement so it'll be a little tighter. Finally, grommet press time. I love this thing, though I'm still working on getting totally even eyelet placement. Not perfect, but not terrible. Just the way I like it. Testing time, because I wanted to make sure I was getting the side seams perfectly lined up before sewing them together. And eep, I already love how this looks. I ended up doing like a flat felled seam, I think that's what it's called, on the sides because I thought it would look nice in the style and it was easier, mainly that second reason. And then Matt and I went off to do some random house stuff, but yeah, at some point in that evening, I hemmed it. Whee! Alrighty. Hey look, I'm wearing something different. Gasp! We hung up cafe lights in our backyard yesterday, so I was swishing around in the dirt a little bit. Seemed like it was time for the other one to go in the laundry. Good thing I have more than one. Comfy hoodie dress. So the skirt is done. I just want to make my little suspenders, detachable pinafore top kind of things. I'm gonna start by ironing my long strips, that will be the ruffles, in half and sewing gathering stitches down the whole thing so I can gather them up. Whee! I've done so much ironing on this project. Shocking. I'm also gonna go ahead and iron my actual straps in half, because why not? I tapered my ends because that seemed like it would be cute. And now I'm just going to gather these down, sew it onto one side of this, fold the other side over, and top stitch it down. Okay. Once I got the two straps all sewn together, I stitched 4 buttons on the inside of the front waistband and then tried it on to measure and mark exactly where my buttonhole should go. And I totally thought I had made these straps super long, and it turns out that they were just sort of long enough. So I kind of just stuck the buttonholes as low as possible and managed to get all of them sewn right on the cusp of running out of thread. Ta-da! Y'all, this skirt took an entire spool of thread. Wowzers. Hello. Thank you so much. Y'all, I almost forgot that the main reason I wanted to make a brown skirt was these boots. I got these for like $5 at an estate sale, probably ages ago now. 67, made in Spain. I don't know, I just thought they were cute, but then I got them home and I was like, wait, I don't wear brown. Yeah, but they're so cute. So I was like, I gotta make a brown skirt, and then I found this fabric and it's like, perfect. I do feel like I need some blousey, voluminous, like white shirts to go with this. This worked, I think this is cute, but it's definitely drawing to mind that idea, so future project. But yeah, y'all, I don't really have any critiques. What? I mean, technically, I could go ahead and move the snaps even a little bit more and make the front panel a little bit tighter on me, but it doesn't really matter because you tighten the front panel by putting the back one over it. I just have to like scooch the extra material around, so like, who cares? Other than that, I probably should have put interfacing in these little suspender strap things since I was gonna put buttonholes in them, but also I don't think I'm gonna use these much. Like, it's a cute idea, but it's not something that I would just put on if I was wearing the skirt around the house, you know. Overall, I will say putting the lacing on the front, and I guess maybe having it so high waist and everything, does make the whole skirt feel even more history bounding than like this original, and the other versions of it do. I kept singing, "Oh, the farmer and the cowman should be friends" in my head. I don't know. That's what it called to mind. But yeah, it's like super comfy. I can lace it tighter, I can lace it looser. The pockets are enormous and easy to stick my hands in, and they hold everything. The skirt is swooshy as I like it. I enjoy the length, especially with the boots. I think that's a length that I'm really starting to love on myself. Yeah, pretty happy with it. It turned out exactly like I was thinking in my head. Isn't that great? So I guess that's it. Another split side variation in the bag. I've definitely got some more coming. The list is still long, and well, we've made a dent, but I don't even think I'm halfway through split side variations. I'm at the point where it's like, it has been so long since I've put a zipper in anything. I just don't really wanna anymore, you know? Like, if there's a sewing technique or method that you don't particularly enjoy, and then you find a way around having to do that, it's pretty easy to latch onto that way around and never ever go back. And it's not even like zippers are that hard to put in. I'm not like trying to make more people scared of putting in zippers. It's not hard. It's just something that I, in particular, don't enjoy doing. It's the part of a project that I dread. So, you know, why bother? Make it split side instead. Anyway, good times. I'm very thirsty today. Possibly because it is very dry outside. Are my eyes like extremely wide open right now? I already have dry eyes, so when I put in contacts and it's dry outside, I have to like really keep my eyes open because otherwise I'll start squinting and doing this. When I wear contacts, I make the weirdest faces, y'all. I'm gonna go put on glasses again. It's been fun. I'll see you next week. I know what I'm doing. Okay. Ah, my sleeve. Good clean puppy. Thanks, baby.